CountryWide CONNECT with Andy Thompson and Sarah Perriam-Lampp.
Alrighty, welcome back to the show. Love to hear from you. Send us an email, connect@country-wide.co.nz. A couple of weeks ago, we had Canterbury deer farmer on, Duncan Hum, having a bit of a chat about a new innovation, actually. Well, not a new innovation, but something really, really important that's happened in the deer industry, specifically the velvet industry. There's been a major breakthrough, the launch of HENKIV. Well, I don't really know what that means, but Rhys Griffiths, who is the CEO of Deer Industry New Zealand, does. G'day, mate. Welcome to the show. Really appreciate your time. Rhys, I'm not good with acronyms. What is HENKIV and why is it so important for the New Zealand deer industry, aka the velvet industry?
Hey, look, thanks and many thanks, Andy, for having me back on the show. It's always awesome to be able to have a chat with your fantastic listeners, and thanks to Duncan, I guess. And I know Duncan and Lorna well, so thanks for them giving the heads up. Look, this HENKIV, the HENKIV product, it's an important milestone for kind of where we're at. It really strengthens where we've kind of come from that whole traditional medicine into the healthy foods, where we saw kind of the growth and development of our velvet industry over the last kind of 15 or so years into that health functional food. So that's the important differentiator, really, that functionality. When we think about the company that launched this the week before last, this HENKIV product, Yuhan, its parent company, Yuhan Corp, is the largest pharmaceutical company in South Korea. It's kind of like the Pfizer of South Korea, really. And I remember our first conversations back in 2016. So it's been a 10-year journey to get to where we're at. And we always like things to happen tomorrow, but sometimes, I guess, as Mainland said, good things take a bit of time. I think at BSI, I just said that during the kind of pre-launch of this HENKIV. Sitting down with the Yuhan executives, the corporate executives back in 2016, they say, we love the partnerships and the relationship that you've got with the likes of KGC and some of these fantastic nutraceutical companies. What we want to do is put some real science in behind it. So this HENKIV extract, it really follows quite a significant investment through human clinical trials. So Yuhan spent tens of millions of US dollars in human clinical trials around 4 hospitals through Seoul in South Korea, and it showed the evidence in improved innate immunity function. So you've got adaptive and innate immunity function there. This is important because I'm building up to what that acronym means, but the claim for improved immune function via enhanced NK or natural killer cells, and it's been approved by the Ministry of Food and Drug Safety. So the awesome thing is, the extract is based upon New Zealand velvet, and its name HENKIV, HENKIV, simply means highly enhanced natural killer cells based on immune function from velvet, or importantly, New Zealand deer velvet. So that's an acronym, and it's the first healthy functional food with human clinical evidence and behind it targeting that immune function. But it does follow the first registered health functional food product that was launched last year by another pharmaceutical company called Kwangdong that targeted that kind of prostate health. So hopefully that answers that acronym question there, Andy.
It does. And I guess for me, what I'm really interested in, because we've known over the years and for a long period of time that deer velvet has been anecdotally very good for humans in lots of different ways. And obviously, I think that the South Koreans, or the Koreans, the Asians, have always been very, very keen on this. Being able to actually prove it through human clinical trials and be able to put something behind it. And I guess it's more than that. It's actually finding out, I suppose, the active ingredients and everything that's working, right? That means you can now sell it not just as a supplement, but actually as a health product. Is that correct?
Yes, it is, and it provides evidence. We believe it'll lift the overall consumption of velvet, or Nagyong as they call it in South Korea, because now for the first time there's actual human clinical evidence in behind this wonderful product that we produce here in New Zealand. So even across the TCM and into the healthy food side of the general kind of food without the claims there, it'll create more kind of consumer understanding. Look, Andy, I'm kind of those that know me, they know I get excited and passionate about things. I do want to be clear that I don't see this as a silver bullet for kind of changing things around over this next or the coming year in terms of our velvet and our velvet prices. but certainly in terms of our medium to long-term consumption growth for velvet, this is going to be pretty awesome.
Well, so on that, and I get, like that's really important. So you're right. It's not going to cause a massive boost in it. But the fact that we have proven this, and we obviously sell a lot of velvet overseas, what is it going to do is it going to encourage more people to get into deer farming, into velvet production, or is it going to just support the guys and girls who are already doing it?
Yeah, look, yeah, that's an awesome question. It's been an interesting journey. 2 years ago, I would have been saying it's been a fantastic journey. We saw our industry grow for the previous kind of 15 years, from about a $30 million industry to about $120 million industry. We had a few issues with the market access problem into another big market in China. That was resolved pretty quickly a couple of years ago, but not quick enough for it to have impacted through that commodity kind of cycle. So we saw the commodity traders really pick up this current season, and they manipulated kind of prices. They were saying we're producing too much of that large stick going through, and so we have seen quite a kill of some of those bigger stags, those older kind of velveting stags. So we've seen a little bit of a retraction probably in that velvet industry over the last couple of years, following a pretty significant growth, or a trebling in both volume and value over the previous kind of 15 years. It's a chance for us to reset. Would say we'll be back probably about 20%, but this Henkith launch, following the Kwandong launch, and others are out there, is a chance for us to reset and continue our kind of growth aspirations in the industry. I certainly know that over those previous kind of 15 years, some of the velvet producers out there we're getting bigger. My preference is a story around diversification, Andy, and I'd like to see people not throw all the eggs in one basket. So not be kind of jumping into velvet or venison or what have you. We see this as a diversification. We know that 77% of our producers out there also farm sheep and beef. So having deer on your property is an important diversification. So
yeah,
have to be very careful about. As I say, I do get quite passionate on that velvet front about kind of overselling and getting into that too much, and seeing that growth of supply getting out of sync with the growth and demand.
Yeah, it's and that's a really important point, because you don't want a boom or bust cycle, and we've seen that in New Zealand agriculture over the years. Everyone thinks, oh, this is the next big thing, we're all going to dive into there, and then oversupply. We know how all that works. So, but it is really important for the people that are already in it to know that it's validated, and that this product is validated. Is there anything else on the horizon, that's under the radar that's coming through like this with the science?
Yeah, there is. So as I say, this is actually the second product. It's the first to be targeting natural killer cells into that immune function side of things, but it is the second one that follows human clinical studies into South Korea. We know of two others that are under development. And the cool thing is, Andy, they're targeting different functions. So this is targeting immune function. The one that was launched last year is targeting prostate health. Again, following human clinical studies. We know that there are others in the pipeline, and from what we've kind of read out there, we know that they might be targeting things like muscle strengthening or sports medicine and what have you as well. So we know that the functions out there of the different big companies that are kind of working in the space will target different claims, growth and development of kids. So I do think it's going to be an interesting landscape over the next couple of years as we see these new generation or next generation of products coming onto the market.
Maybe I might need to get some myself while you're talking about it. Hey, Rhys, great news, and I know you're in Korea, and you went down to Daejeon, which I actually happened to go to a few years ago, and South Korea is the most fascinating place, isn't it? It is just, I don't know, it's so clean, it's so sophisticated. The Korean people are so lovely. I really, really enjoyed my time there, and I know you will have as well. So you're lucky you get to go there a bit, I suppose. I'd love to go back one day.
Well, I probably actually, for me, it's bittersweet, right? I've been kind of juggling a couple of roles over the last year or so, doing both the markets role and also the CEO's role. But I've employed this awesome new guy called Terry Michael, and he's he was over there in Korea, South Korea, for the very first time as well. So it was probably saying goodbye to a few people that I've interacted pretty closely with. I'm not too sure, there's nothing on the horizon. It'll be Terry's role to be kind of getting up to those markets as I really kind of focus on that kind of CEO's role. But yeah, gee, it's a fascinating place, and I've been to Japan and other places around too, and kind of people talk up those. Korea's often forgotten, and it's just I can't talk highly enough about it, and it's a place where, certainly for our deer farming audience out there, it's a place that resonates so well for Nagyong or deer velvet that we produce as well.
Absolutely, mate. Just very quickly, we've just been out of time, but the general health of the deer industry, velvet prices, how are they looking?
Yeah,
Venison prices, not velvet.
No worries. So venison prices have been pretty firm, pretty stable over the last few years. We had a bit of a blip during COVID. Obviously, all our eggs were in one basket, and that kind of food service side of things. We implemented a pretty cool project, and a big shout out, a big thanks to MPI around the NARA, the North American Retail Accelerator Program. So targeting a different channel that seems to be paying dividends. Of course, there's a red meat protein shortage out there. So how much is that of market development, and how much is there to just a natural commodity cycle, but certainly good to get New Zealand farm-raised venison in front of a high-paying American audience out there. We've got concerns about the kind of what's going on there in that landscape and the geopolitical landscape and what have you. Of course, we're looking at the tariffs at the moment. A lot of these things across the board are being passed on to American consumers, but our exporters are working hard to making sure they're maintaining good prices back to our farmers. You've got that on one side of the ledger. You've got the Middle Eastern conflict happening on the other side, and the rising inputs and the concerns in around those kind of farm inputs for diesel and what happens with fertilizer and what have you down the track as well. So some concerns out there. But like Andy, when I look at the industry, I'm a positive guy by nature. We've got our Thrive 35 strategy. It is about doubling our exports over the next value of our exports over the next 10 years. So in line with the kind of the government plans, and certainly we're well on our road to kind of that journey, or starting that journey really. So right. I'm cautiously optimistic about how things are looking out there. If we can reset our velvet industry and make sure we bring discipline back into that supply chain.
All right, very much. Thank you very much, Rhys Griffiths, there, CEO of the Deer Industry New Zealand, for that update. Appreciate it, mate. We'll talk to you again. Thanks for your time.
Excellent. Hey, really appreciate it, Andy. Anytime. Thank you.
CountryWide Connect with Andy Thompson and Sarah Perriam-Lampp.